I think the definition of greatness is to inspire the people next to you. It's not something that lives and dies with one person. It's how can you inspire a person to then in turn inspire another person, that then inspires another person. And that's how you create something that I think lasts forever. And I think that's our challenge as people, is to figure out how our story can impact others and motivate them in a way to create their own greatness.
Welcome to the Welcome to the 3-on-3 podcast. That's right. You're tuned into the number one basketball podcast in the universe. I'm joined with my compadres, my amigos, my guys. I got my boy Ev with me.
You already know.
Yes, sir. Also got my boy Lou. And we got the Pod Mamba in the background, making sure that we continue to be the number one basketball podcast in the universe. Today, we have a great show, the last show of the season in Stored. NBA champs in here.
Bing
the New York Knickerbockers are the 2026 NBA champions in here.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
they
indeed.
defeated the San Antonio Spurs 90-94. 3-1 gentlemen sweep, might call it. The New York Knickerbockers are NBA champs. New York is in a frenzy. Jalen Brunson dropped 45. This is the first championship in over 50 years, 53 years. New York is hot, everybody. We're just going to start off the show right off the bat with Evan. How does it feel right now for you being a longtime Knicks fan, seeing this championship for the first time as you've been alive? What does this mean to you, and how do you feel right now, man? Talk your ish.
What a week it's been.
All right, let's move on to the offseason, guys.
All right. So where do we think Giannis is going?
Yeah.
My suspicion is I'm just
People
don't want to hear that. The people do not want to hear that. And as you've seen on social media, as you've seen on TV, wherever you get your news from, the entire world is happy right now. Global warming is coming down. Gas prices might fall a little bit. We might have a peace treaty signed this week in the Middle East.
Wow, with Iran in it.
Things are going to align themselves because the Knicks have won an NBA championship.
They brought the great balance to the universe. Great.
We're bringing balance.
Everything is right again.
Yes. When you see New Yorkers celebrating the way they are, just as happy as they are, this has been incredible. And what a week it has been since we last recorded. You talk about this series, and we're going to get into last night's game and the heroics of one King Brunson. He's been elevated from mayor of New York. He's the king of New York now. But just the past week, right? We record last week. Knicks are up 2-0. I gave you your one pod warning. Told you where we'd be when we recorded again. But in between that, you've got the Trump game, which y'all can say it. I won't say it, but might have been a sweep if somebody hadn't shown up. That's what y'all told me. I didn't say that. And in game 4, you have the greatest comeback in NBA history in the finals game.
Down 29.
And tonight you have another game, every game in the series, down double digits. And at no point did it feel like we weren't going to win this game. That is what's crazy about this game, what's crazy about this series, and what's been crazy about this playoff run. The level of dominance that this team elevated to, man, it's just, I want to go in on the haters, right? But
all right, let's go right there.
Okay,
this is the last show. I'm point blank, Evan. First person who needs to shut the hell up. Go ahead, man. Talk your talk. What's the biggest take you saw before the series or during the series that everybody needs to shut the hell up? You can call them by name. Let's get right to it. Let's
Air
get
it
right
out,
to it.
air it out, air it out.
Us included.
Yo, this is
Let's
time
go.
for you to
Get the
be like a
shots- get the
true New
shots
York,
ready.
bro. This is a New York
The
type
shots
of
ready,
get that
son.
New York
Get the-
bravado.
Get the
Put
shots
your
ready.
Timbs on, man.
Alright,
Yeah,
alright.
bro.
Timbs
Let
on,
me
man.
Get your black forces
straighten my
out.
hat real quick.
Get your
Han
black
said quit
forces
being
out.
diplomatic, so I got you. All right.
Yeah, man. Come on. That's not
Becky
what the
Hammond,
people came
shut the hell up. All right.
There you go.
Talking about small. Small guards can't be a 1A. Listen, small guard 1A ring. Okay. How
There you
about
go.
that? How about
go.
that? The Western Conference Finals is the NBA Finals. Shut the hell up, all right?
Okay,
All right?
there
I
you
told
go.
y'all.
Talk about
I
it.
told y'all this Knicks team is different. I said this Knicks team is different than anybody else. I don't care who we see coming out of there. Victor Wembanyama, face of the league. Shut the hell up, all right? Get a post game, all right?
Okay.
You listen. You want to go run up hills with the Shaolin monks, all right? You need to go run with some track stars or something. All right? Get some endurance about yourself, okay? You're a great 29-minute player. You're a horrible 30-minute player. Haven't
Let's
seen
go.
Victor Wembanyama in the fourth quarter in 2 months. I don't know what to tell you, okay? It's getting personal. Hans Luador,
Let's
shut
go.
the hell up, all right?
Let's go.
Dame Lillard's better than Jalen Brunson. Come on.
He is.
Come on. Let's fix
He
this.
is,
all
but
right?
let's go.
Let's fix
go.
this. All right, let's fix this. King of
Let's
New
go.
York. King of New York. You're still my boy. I love you. All right. All right.
No. Let's go, baby.
Pop Mamba. What else you got to say about Jalen Brunson's face, Jalen Brunson's game, Jalen Brunson's whatever? All right. Whatever you got to say about Jalen Brunson, put champ at the end of it. All right. That's what I got for you. Okay. Stephen A. Smith.
Ugly ass champ.
Shut the hell up. All right. Shut
Stephen
the hell
A.
up.
Let's
all right?
go.
Fair
I'm
weather.
here for
Okay.
Stephen
You
A.
the first one to say that the Knicks is slack and the Knicks can't get it done, but you want to be all on the TV crying and dancing once we do it. All right. I don't want to hear from you no more. Okay. You don't get to sit front row. Okay. You got to sit up in level 2 or higher. That's what I got. All right. I got a couple more, but I'm trying to be gracious today. Hans told me to get them
listen,
out.
you gotta do that. That's what it is. Look, listen, at the end of the day, when you're the champ, you're afforded that right and that prestige to talk your ish. Because at the end of the day, until this time next year, you are in fact the champs until you're knocked off. That's just
Hold on.
what
I
it
got
is.
one more. I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
I'm sorry. I got to get this off while we're here. If you said anything bad in the past 2 years about Big Jers, Big Bodega, Big Purr,
All right, Ev. Come on,
Patrick Ewing himself,
okay,
Carl
Ev.
Anthony Towns, all right?
Ev.
Fix
come
your
on.
life.
Ev.
He's an NBA champion.
Ev,
That's
2
all
years.
I got.
You went 2 years back, Ev.
I went 2 years back from the
Ev,
moment he got there. From the
You know he
moment
scored
he
2
got
points your last game, right?
there. Listen, man.
You know he
Listen.
scored 2 points, right?
You know he scored.
He fouled out.
He fouled
stay
out
there
too.
for-
You know that,
Let's
right?
stay there for a second. He scored 2 points.
And
he
he
did
flamed
foul
out
out.
the last 2
Yeah,
games.
he didn't flame
He
out.
flamed out
He
on
did
Pride Night,
foul
on
out,
Pride Month.
okay?
On
But I'm not going to take away. The defense that he played on Victor Wembanyama throughout this series. Okay, we were able to run a game plan where we were able to put our traditional centers on Victor 1-on-1 for 95% of the series, and not have to over rotate, over switch, over trap, overreact. We were able to stay disciplined for the most part in our defense and stay true to the identity, the game plan that we came in with. And I got to give him some for that. And he win at Victor. And he was the best player in the first 2 games of the series, arguably. Right? So I can't.
Now,
I can't
arguably, I
knock
was
him
about to
for that.
say, first off the
Yeah.
first 2 games alone,
And you got to win
Cat as
4.
MVP. I ain't Cat as
Right.
MVP. If he continued that
got
type of play throughout this championship, Cat is
Right.
MVP right now, not Brunson.
Right. So let's
Brunson
talk
got
about
bailed
it.
out last game in terms of be able to be afforded the stock for him to be able to get MVP, and flat out, I mean, he just outplayed. He just played tremendously in the closeout game. So, but yeah, Big Bird, I'll let you. I'll let you. I mean, but not too. Don't say it too loud because he still showed us who he really is.
Listen, man.
Becky Hammond was so right.
sir. Go ahead, Hans. Say your thing.
No. Listen, man. I can't say anything more because Lou's absolutely right. Like, we had him as MVP. Cat was doing his thing. And I think what we saw was just adjustments that caused Cat to falter because they had to adjust for Cat, which is saying something to Evan's credit. the Spurs had to adjust to Cat because Cat was really giving them fits and giving them the business on both sides of the ball. He was actually playing average and good defense, which was struggling and kind of frustrating Wembanyama. So no, I'm giving Cat all his flowers due, but I'm also going to be realistic as well, is that he regressed to the mean. But by that point, everybody else started showing up for the Knicks. OG
I
with
was just about to say OG
man,
quietly.
OG, Mikal too. Mikal Bridges, who was asleep in the
The
was it
season.
no, not the season. Let's stop. Not
Right.
really.
It was
Not
like,
wrong.
well,
In Hawks series, listen, he
I was about to say
Hawks series. He was
asleep for the
tradable.
first two series
He was
of the
tradable.
play
Hawks series, okay.
of the playoffs.
It's
But
like he
let's
was
be for real,
tradable.
though. He
Tradable.
had some timely buckets in the games where when the Knicks were struggling offensively and they were getting the ball out of Brunson's hand, Mikal and OG had some timely buckets, is what I'm saying.
Night he
So
did.
and what here's where I'm giving the Knicks super credit. They just won a championship, right? And they didn't assemble a big three. You get what I'm saying? They didn't go for the flashiest players. They literally showed us that you can play basketball by being elite at what you do well, right? Like playing your role and playing your role to the highest level
I like
can win you
detritus.
basketball games, and you don't need, your big ticket names necessarily. Like you can win with guys who are just really exceptional at what they do, right? Goes down to Josh Hart, right? Whose stats are not going to show up on the stat line, but who gets timely steals, timely, defense, and make a timely three here and there. Like I'm giving them the credit. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm
A timely finger.
a timely finger. I'm definitely on record as saying the Spurs are the better team. And honestly, I still believe the Spurs are the better team.
Facts.
But here's what I'm saying is I appreciate this championship, is what I'm saying. I appreciate this championship for what it means for basketball and how you can win a championship. And it gives hope for those who are assembling teams and trying to do it from the ground up and putting quality pieces together. That's what I'm saying. The grit and grind of New York was shown, and we need that in the NBA. That's all I'm saying, right?
I mean, it is just great to see all around. That three to that forward position, right? That 3-4 position was really the X factor, key part in how the Knicks were able to win, because not only are you leaning on them making timely buckets and OG the timeliest of buckets in the entire series, you also had the fact that one thing we can't discount is the experience, right? So we've seen it with I've made the comparison of the San Antonio team and their youth, similar to like OKC when they started to make their rise. And we're seeing the same thing on the San Antonio end. But at the end of the day, you cannot practice experience, right? That comes from really just grinding it out. You have a guy like, I know, look, if the the Mavs, Luca, all of them, I know they tight right now. Shout out to Jalen Brunson really just betting on himself and deciding, hey, I'm going to make this move. And that really been being the cornerstone piece of how they've been able to assemble this team.
How about getting rid of both of them?
Huh?
If you're the Mavs, how about you got rid of both of them?
Right.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But when you had both of them, you saw the success, right?
Right.
But I'm just saying more so Luka, you like, wow, Jalen Brunson won one before I did. I mean, and who knows if Luka will ever win one. But the thing is, again, kudos to the Knicks. They really like
if history has told us anything, the Lakers are about to get back-to-back next year. So,
and when we talk about great coaching, man, Mike Brown, this is such a vindicating moment for you. Bounced around, a couple of different places. You were Fox's previous coach, right? And they tried to make it seem like you were the problem, and we see clearly who was the problem. So, but for you to win against former teams that you coached on. And there's also something to say about Greg Popovich tree, but we can get into that when we go into talking about the Spurs a little bit. But realistically, man, Mike Brown, he deserves this. He showed how he, as a coach, he can really put the X's and O's together, because he did outcoach the Spurs coach, even with Pop, being 100%. There on the back end. So there's really as much as in jest, we would talk trash about New York and etc. about this win and so on. Shout out to them saying, yeah, well, you know what? We ain't got the Gary, but that was a preview to show you that we're going to get this Larry. So, shout out, big up to them showing up in the big moments when they were supposed to. I don't know if I would necessarily go as far as to how they're jumping out off the ledge and saying that Brunson is the greatest Knicks player of all time, but I will say that he's one of the greatest clutch players that we've ever seen of all time, at least in my lifetime of watching basketball. Mr. Fourth Quarter himself, man. Shout out to him really consistently coming out and performing at that time. And Mike Brown making sure he put the X's and O's behind it.
So here's my question.
But I'm thinking you prefer this out a little bit more. Hey, who let the dogs out?
Shout out to Mike Brown and the Baja Man.
Mike. Before you ask your question, Hans, I will say, there's something to putting in your 10,000 hours, right? Mike Brown was his fourth coaching stint. You had the Cavs, you had the Lakers, you had the Kings, you had here with the Knicks, assistant coach on those Golden State championship teams. He's been assistant coach on the Spurs as well. So I mean, there's something that's kind of pretty neat about that journey culminating in a perfect situation where you have what the team needs and the team has the maturity to accept what you're bringing to them as a final piece and stepping stone toward the goals that they're trying to get to. Because the whole season, the thing was, hey, you're supposed to come in and switch the offense up, right? Make the offense better, rely on the bench more. The obvious things that were needed from him, he accomplished with this team. So shout out to Mike Brown as well. Go ahead, Hans. I know you got a question.
Yeah, this whole Mike Brown thing made me go out. I was thinking about coaches who've won one. I know Ev doesn't like this. Is he better than Doc Rivers and Tyronn Lue?
I think
that wasn't my question, but your Mike Brown comments made me think of this. But I do have another question after that one, though. Is he better than Tyronn Lue and Doc Rivers?
What I'll say for Mike Brown is he clearly drove the elevation of this team that was needed. My big critique of Doc has always been, did he overperform? When you bring three Hall of Famers together, did he overperform or did he do what he was expected to do? Right? Was the journey even harder than it should have been for them? So when you look at Doc, you have a lot of rosters there where it's like, did he get the most out of that roster? What I can say for Mike Brown, what we saw the last, especially the last 2 months, he unequivocally at the right time got the absolute most out of his roster. So I mean, I would, based on that alone, I'd have to put him above those two.
Tyronn Lue as well.
Tyronn Lue as well.
Okay.
Y'all were gonna fire him mid-season.
Every coach is gonna get fired until they don't.
I mean, look, listen.
Everybody's on the hot seat. Mitch Johnson's on the hot seat right now.
Budenholzer, it happened to him the year they won. They almost, if they had a loss to the Nets in the first round, he would have been out. Then what happens? They go on and they win the series, win the chip. After, they got out their series against the Nets and won the chip. Budenholzer stays another 2-3 years, right? So yeah, when you're expected to win, because this season, that's how it was for you. This season was a win or bust for you guys. That's how you guys came into the season. That's how you spoke about the season from your ownership all the way down. Even though I don't particularly care for your ownership, that's one of my gripes with this win, because I don't believe Dolan.
Chill out, relax, man. This is Knicks Day. Come on.
You know what I mean? But I do appreciate the fact that what it means for the city.
Is it true that that you guys thought it was a win or bust season for you guys?
James Dolan came on in January and said this is the finals or bust year.
Yep.
That's crazy high expectations. I mean, it happened, but that's crazy high expectations for a team that just wasn't doing anything.
Wasn't doing anything.
Oh,
That's disrespect to our last 3 years.
Hey, yo.
They were
make the Eastern Conference Finals. Like that's a great landing spot. Like
to
hit.
Come on, Christian.
He said,
Christian.
they
To win
wasn't
the
doing anything.
finals.
They
Whoa.
were
Listen,
rated. They were
hold
rated as
on. I
like.
got this. I got this.
Okay, go ahead,
Not
man. Do
all
your thing. Let me
teams in
shut
the
up,
league
man.
can have this level of expectation. All right. Christian roots for a franchise that nobody believed would get out of the first round this year, that zero people believe would make a distance. His
The first round
team,
was crazy.
excluding the bubble year that the NBA put an asterisk on themselves, his team hasn't been relevant since what, 2010, 2011? So I get it. It's a long time for him. We're talking about the Knicks today, though. Hans, go for it.
Why is this 2-time NBA champion ass franchise talking to me about
Oh,
Because they won.
expectations?
Because they're the current champions.
Okay.
They're the current champions.
I hope it doesn't take you another 53 years, Evan. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
Listen, I hope it has take you another 53
No,
years.
it won't.
You know?
It won't.
Oh
Because
man,
we
the
have
battles of the
we got
championships,
history.
man.
You know, we got
Listen.
history, unlike you guys.
wow, that's crazy.
We're here talking about our history today, sir.
Okay.
All right.
I mean, technically, the championship was the other day, so it's history. You
I
guys
don't
got
like to
history
look.
too.
I don't like to look in. I don't like to look in the past. It's about the future. You know. It's about,
Oh, here we go. Just keep changing it.
Well,
We're future. We're forward
So there's
thinking here.
there's gonna be a
Well,
banner
it
night in your
depends
future. So
where you
whichever
mean it
way
to be.
you want to go, it's Knicks, baby.
because
Past
for
or
the near
What you wanna
future,
talk?
they are the current champions.
are you guys lifting up the in-season tournament championship banner or no?
We might, and you bring up a good point. By certain metrics, we're the most successful team in the history of NBA basketball. No other team, no team in the history of
man.
basketball outside of the New York Knicks has won both an NBA Cup and an NBA
Oh,
championship.
my
Okay,
So now
there's
you're
no
starting to sound like Christian.
other
You're
gym
starting to sound like
in the
Christian.
world that will have both trophies in their facility. That's all I gotta say.
You
You
are
start-
Of the same year.
Of the
Not in
same year,
general.
yes. Hey,
the
yes, in the same
mathematical
year.
gymnastics that we're pulling right
Yeah,
now.
between these two, right? Goodness. Semantics on
Jesus.
a milli. Wow.
Man, big market energy here, man. That's what
Yeah, I
y'all
know,
do.
right? Can't relate.
That's
Can't relate.
clearly that's what happens when you're in the big
Why is
market,
Lou?
man.
Why is Lou
Word,
pretending
all
like
right,
he's
let's
not one
we
of
might as
them?
well put ourselves on mute.
Why is Lou pretending like he's not one of them?
Listen,
I'm not a big
man.
market. Chicago's not a big market.
Listen, man, that's
True,
just
too.
wild.
Lakers
behavior.
aren't either. They're a mom and pop shop. Remember?
Not
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah. No,
we're a
they sold
billionaire.
out now.
Oh yeah,
billionaires now.
They sold out now,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, did
They
sell
sold
out.
out.
Y'all
They
sold-
Walmart now,
You're
man.
right. You're right.
Super center. Super
All
center.
right.
We got all of
Here's-
Japan behind our backs now.
Here's my question to you,
Yeah, it's
Ev.
not wrong.
Before I know we get to the other side of it.
Is it
What do you
about
have to
Jalen
say?
Brunson?
Huh?
Is it about Jalen Brunson?
No. It's about the Knicks.
Oh,
So
Well, then it's
when
about
we
Jalen
were
Brunson.
when we were talking about a couple minutes earlier about Christian brought up the expectations that were put on the Knicks. I know you don't want to think about last year, but I do want to reference it for this question. So last year, I think it's safe to say everybody felt like the Knicks let that series go against the Indiana Pacers, right? Everybody, for the most part, felt like the Knicks were the better team. They should have won that. Certain things happened where, et cetera happened. Shots shouldn't have happened, blah, 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 blah. Do you think, or how do you feel about those who are saying the same thing about this series, given the fact that the Spurs were up double digits in every game? They had the lead going into the third and fourth quarter of every game. And the Knicks were focused and came back in the fourth quarter and won every game except for one. So what do you have to say for those who say, hey, this is essentially what happened with you guys in Indiana, whereas, the better team just lost focus and didn't execute? What do you have to say to that?
So I think you hit the right word there. Not focus, but execution. And it's where we're at now. Well, where we were last year is, I'd say, similar to where the Spurs are now. The reason Tom Thibodeau lost his job last year wasn't strictly because we didn't make it to the NBA Finals. It's because of how visibly disjointed we were in that Pacers series, where we looked like an offense that had no answers, no solutions, no strategy. Right? It was ugly basketball against the Pacers last year. And although OG, I think, was hurt, we we didn't have any type of cohesiveness or symmetry. That is why Thibodeau lost his job, and that's why we brought in eventually Mike Brown. What you saw in the finals and what you saw this entire playoffs from us was a team that, from an execution standpoint, had an answer for everything, right? Or a counter for everything, or at least an ability to switch up strategy based on what the defense was providing itself. So when you bring up about the Spurs leading for large majorities of these games, right, comes down to winning time. You look in the second half, you look in the fourth quarters, and we were a team that at no point in any second half didn't look like we had control of ourselves, right? Didn't look like we had something that we would get into. Where the Spurs, you saw when it came nut crunch time for them every fourth quarter, they had no answers, right? They had no fallback on this no matter what, no breaking glass in case of emergency, right? So it came down to execution in this series. So I would say, yeah, anybody who says, you know, what we were last year versus what we were this year and comparing us to the Spurs, I mean, that's an apt comparison. But we did exactly what we were supposed to do. And I can't go, you know, we're 25 minutes in. I can't let us go another minute without saying we did what we were able to do in big part because we have Jalen Brunson on our team.
100%.
When you have, you know, beginning of the series, he was scoring the points, but the defensive strategy against him was working from the standpoint that he was having to take a lot of shots, exert a lot of energy to get his points. Each game, it got a little better. He got more control of the offense, more control of his positioning, and he just started to dominate more and more as this series progressed. The play that I probably jumped up from my seat the most last night is when he ISO'd at Wemby one-on-one, broke down the 7'5", 7'6" boogeyman, went right past him and laid it up on him. The footwork, the dexterity, the control of the game that he had at that point. You can't find me one play in the second half of any of these games that Wemby did something similar in the fourth quarter when it was not crunch time for the Spurs, right? The only player, we'll get into Spurs in a second. Let me stay on the mayor, Jalen Brunson. To drop 45 points in the closeout game the way that he did, I mean, you have a guy who will bring you home. And that was my comfort, you know, for the whole playoffs and really for this whole Jalen Brunson experience. What I've been yelling for 3 years is that, you know, why go as far as saying he's East Coast Steph Curry, right? Why go as far as saying he's better than any other guard that you put in front of him on the list is because when it's time to win the game, when the buckets that matter, I haven't seen anyone better in the past couple of years at getting the buckets that matter than Jalen Brunson. And that's been huge. And for him to do it last night in a closeout game, right? I know you thought, I know you want to say something, and it's cool, and I'm gonna let you. But all I'll say is when you do it last night to win the finals when nobody else is scoring, and you drop 45 to end this series, is unassailable at that point. It's unassailable.
It's ironic because wasn't De'Aaron Fox like one of those players that always had the most points in the fourth quarter stat kind of thing?
The first winner of the NBA Clutch Award. What's that Cat Williams one, Hans? Give it to him again. You don't know a phantom till the phantom pull up.
Yeah, Chrysler 300 looks like a phantom until the real phantom.
The whole time I was watching De'Aaron Fox's whole finals, I was thinking of that Jared Allen quote: "The lights were too bright for me." The lights were way too bright for De'Aaron Fox, man.
Look, we can get into that. You know what I mean? When we really made that move, but Brunson was remarkable. I mean, you went from going from winning clutch player to now, you know what I mean, getting a MVP award and a championship. Kudos to him. Still don't think that he's marketable as a face of the league, but kudos to him.
All right, guys. I know Ev doesn't agree on that one, and we can get into it at the end. Let's move on to the Spurs side of things, guys. Let's move on to the Spurs side of things. Let's dissect them and what they need to do to move forward. So we just talked about how the Spurs literally had leads in every single game. They had an opportunity to win in every single game. This was a series that was very competitive. Like, in even though it was like a gentleman's sweep, but each game was competitive to when it came down to it. So I think it's safe to say, even though it was a gentleman's sweep, I don't think even the Knicks would deny that the Spurs were in this the whole time. All right. So with that being said, what do the Spurs need to do next season to get better? Or let's first start with, what should have they done during this finals run to possibly change things? I know things have been thrown out there with the De'Aaron Fox playing time. I know Lou
Full
has
stop.
mentioned
Not play Luke
with
Cornett.
with Dylan Harper getting more run. So what do you think should have been? Let's start with that. What adjustments should have they made during this finals run, and then we'll go into next season.
Never let Fox out of the locker room. As a matter of fact,
Never let Fox.
they should that you know what? Not even have him on the plane. You know what I mean?
They kept saying it was his
Left
ankle
him at the crib.
that he never recovered from his ankle. But like, if his ankle is really hurting that much, then why are you playing him so much?
Exactly.
I'm of the mindset that, kind of what Christian was saying. I think he should have played, because I also think, especially this last game, he had some timely buckets to kind of calm a little Knicks run down.
Yeah.
But I think that he should have gotten less run. And just to use the Spurs analogy, Dylan Harper is your Manu Ginobili. All right. You know, when Manu came in and he's closing out games, right? In the fourth quarter, along with Parker and Duncan, like, he's closing out games and getting runs. So I think with the flow of the games, you go with the hot hand, and that should have been Dylan Harper. I'm not going to say Fox should be not get off the plane as that far, just because he did have some timely buckets when the Spurs were struggling offensively.
Well, if Harper was in, maybe Harper would have had those buckets.
Can't take the plane home.
Huh?
I said I've been there before. Some folks can't get on the plane and go home.
Can't get on the plane home. You have been there. Everybody, but Brunson's the only one on the plane. Everybody else better figure it out. So yeah, I don't know, man.
I think that from the X's and O's perspective, the adjustment was made from game one, right? Mitch Johnson let De'Aaron Fox really be the point guard to run the end of the closeout of the game. And so how that ended up, and then how that actually was tightened up when what he did was game two, keep both Dylan Harper and Fox in at the same time. Just to be able to kind of help offset that. You lose a little bit of size, slightly, right? Because generally you would put Castle or Vassell in, just in terms of bigger bodies, in terms of defense, guys who can really help you against somebody like OG. And on the other side of the ball, make it a little bit more difficult for Brunson. But I mean, Harper, I think that Fox actually was also a liability on defense as well. So it's like, if he's not fully healthy, he's really not giving you the offensive production that you're supposed to. I mean, like, he's down in all his stats. Like, come on, game one, you give me what, 7 points? Like, come on. You know what I mean? And you gave me the same amount of points in game 5 as well. So it's like, yeah, you may have hit some timely buckets, but realistically, like, oh man, like you're a guy that's giving me almost 20 points a game during the season, but now during the playoffs, bro, like you're down to 15. You know what I mean? That you just can't have that. When it comes down to winning a championship, whoever makes the right adjustments at the right time and is the one that makes the least amount of mistakes is the one that's going to win. And time again, we've seen De'Aaron Fox make the mistakes and silly ones at that. You talking about game 4 when you could have gone, you could have just run out the clock and forced them to foul you. But you say you go up to make a shot so you can go to force them to make a 3. What do you think happens when they foul you? If you're in the bonus up 1, you're going to get 2 free throws. Like, are you, I mean, so it's like, yo, man, him to be the veteran on that team and the leadership that you expect for somebody like him to be able to give. You're not really playing Harrison Barnes like that, but okay, so you're playing him. You expect that veteran leadership on the floor to be able to make the right decisions at the right times and minimize those types of mistakes. And Darren Fox just didn't do that. And then Mitch Johnson, for I don't know if it pressure otherwise, because you're paying this guy, so you gotta get your return on investment. But he got out coached, and certain adjustments that should have been made, they weren't made fast enough.
I'll touch on two things there. One, agree mostly with everything you said on the De'Aaron Fox piece. I'm gonna come at it from the Dylan Harper lens, though. Hans said he was in that Ginobili role. I'm watching this, and I don't know if it's the baby fro or whatnot, but it was giving me 2000 Kobe vibes. What he was doing on the court, and when he's clearly the only player on your team that is getting into his offense whenever he wants to. By time you're down 2-1, especially by time you're down 3-1, I agree. You got to make a more drastic call and put the best player on your team on the floor as much as possible. And I keep saying best player on your team, and I'm being intentional when I say that, because outside of Victor Wembanyama being 7'6" and being able to get things that he was going to get because he's 7'6", what did he do in this series, especially offensively, that was better than what Dylan Harper was doing in this series? So that's my first point there, and I know we'll deep dive on Wemby in a sec. My second point, though, is just to go off of what Lou said from a head coach standpoint. I know the Spurs led 74% of the series. They led every first half. They got up to a double-digit team. But you know what I thought of the most of when I was watching this series? I thought of football. I thought about a team that scripts their first series incredibly, right? Who comes out and almost always scores a touchdown that first 1 or 2 drives of the game. But as the game progresses, once it gets past that initial script, they don't have the consistency. They don't have a full in football 60 minutes, but a full 48-minute game plan. And that was my takeaway from the Spurs this whole series, and especially by the third time, definitely by the fourth time they went up in the first half. I was like, they don't have a full game's worth of answers, and that's on coaching. You saw at the end of game 4. The reason OG was open for that tip is because the Spurs came out of the huddle confused about who they were guarding. But by the time the ball was passed in, everybody still wasn't comfortable with who they were guarding. And that's why nobody guarded OG. It wasn't intentional. It was because they were still trying to figure out who had who. That's why nobody guarded OG. That's why Wemby switched up on the trap, right, on the screen when Brunson came up. And that's why Fox, instead of, okay, my 7'6" player is on Jalen Brunson, that's why he's still coming over half doubling, because coming out of the huddle, they weren't prepared. And so I put a lot of that on coaching. You could drop the first script, but once you get punched in the mouth, what do you do? And the Spurs did not have it.
Yeah. I mean, from a Dylan Harper perspective that you were given, like, he did this opposite of Fox. All his numbers went up in this playoff series, man. You're saying this is a guy that's giving you 50% from the field. He's up 3 points, 4 points from his normal season average. As a matter of fact, he's up from 11 to 15. But so he's producing at a higher level, and he's playing great defense for you. I mean, yes, he's making some small little ticky-tack stuff that you can address, and you can these little rookie things he'll be able to make better decisions on. But the other aspect of Wemby that you're talking about is, but yeah, I hear what you're saying in terms of how he affects the game. Is defensively, automatically, is the biggest thing that he does in terms of affecting how you guys had your game plan. But the other piece of it that they're gonna, I mean, we can talk about it more when we talk about what the outlook is, because there's some pieces that when Wemby was out the game, where their glaring deficiencies were, which you guys were able to take advantage of. So I think part of his issue had to do with fatigue, because he had to be on the floor. Otherwise, their game plan really wasn't as effective, especially if you have Fox. Again, like I said, so Fox, what did we pay for? we're not getting the return on investment with you.
Go ahead, Av.
No, I was just gonna say my fear in this series, which picked the Knicks to win. I said I wanted the Spurs because I felt they were a better matchup for us than the Thunder, primarily from that standpoint of consistently from an offensive standpoint. I thought we'd be able to scheme for them better than we would have the Thunder. But the one fear I had that didn't come to fruition was I thought Wemby would get better as the series progressed, and he did to an extent, in part because the game 1 and 2 were disastrous for him. He did to an extent, but I don't feel like we never saw game 1 from OKC Wemby at any point in this series. The big games he had against Oklahoma City, we never saw that level from Wemby, and so I got he's gonna get his fair share of the blame as well.
And this is why I think it's approaching hyperbolic to say that Dylan Harper is the best player on the Spurs team. At the end of the day, I get what this series meant, and it's the finals. But let's not forget what this man did up until then. Like, let's not discount that because Dylan Harper wasn't putting up 40. Dylan Harper wasn't doing that against OKC. I get it. It's Knicks time, et cetera, et cetera. They're the champions. Whoop-de-whoop. I get it.
This ain't a whoop-de-whoop moment, sir. The Knicks are the NBA champions, but I get where you're going.
They are. But to sit here and say that
he hit me with a whoop-de-doo. Hold on now.
To sit
if
here,
the Knicks win, whoop-de-doo. If
to
they
say,
win,
but let's not lose ourselves. Like to say, like Dylan Harper was great.
This is a day for losing
Great.
yourselves, Hans. Okay,
Great.
We've seen what's going on in the city. Lose yourself.
I know.
Right?
I know. We should. It's blue and orange skies. I get it, but I feel like we cannot generalize this one series, this one finals, and forget what happened up to there. I think what the Knicks did awesome is what Evans just said. Sorry. They shut down Wemby.
Shout out to Yev.
They shut down Wemby, right? They neutralized him and they showed his glaring weakness, right? That's what the Knicks did. The Knicks game planned, and as Lou just said as well, they out-coached the Spurs as well too.
You guys want some Wemby stats in the fourth quarter?
Not yet. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
But for us to sit here and to say that this man Wemby was not phenomenal throughout this whole, you get what I'm saying? Like let's pump the brakes for a second. They're here for a reason. And if you think it's any other reason besides Wemby, you're wilding right now. Because if you take Wemby off that team is not making it past the first round. Mm-hmm. So but if you take Dylan Harper off that team, they're making it past the first round and possibly up here, right? There are other people who didn't show up too. 6th man of the year, Kelvin Johnson, out here playing with his goats. He spent too much time on the farm. He should have been on there. Where did he go? Disappeared. You get what I'm saying? Stephon Castle, we're not giving him enough credit. Mr. Turnover King over here, right? Where are you when we need a bucket getting inside? So my thing is Wemby should shoulder the credit because he is the leader. Don't get me wrong. He is the leader. As just like we bashed Brunson, right, for when he had his slow starts because he's the leader. So don't get me wrong. Wemby gets a lot of this credit with his turnovers, not making an impact, et cetera, et cetera. But come on, man, that's still the franchise player. That's still a generational player. Mm-hmm. And Dylan Harper is going to be great. He's going to be awesome and phenomenal. But like, come on, y'all. Let's pump the brakes.
No. You're totally fair, and I agree with that. And if you're the Spurs, all right, and you're looking at this season, I mean, we called it earlier. This is house money for them, right? You made it to this point faster than you were expected to. You made it to the NBA Finals. You put away the Oklahoma City Thunder, who were supposed to be, the dominant team for the next 5 years. Got them questioning where they're going forward. So, I mean, yes, from a Spurs standpoint, you're led by a 22, a 21, and a 20-year-old that just got their first taste of finals experience.
They're just starting to drink alcohol, like
right. And all three of them performed. Right, they didn't get to last night. We did, but anyway,
Champagne was on the Knicks last night,
right? So yes, glass half full, not even glass half full, right? I mean, baseline, the truth of the matter, the Spurs have a lot to be happy about, right? Even the De'Aaron Fox criticism is overblown to an extent because he was consistent for them all year and he did play a part in them getting to the NBA finals. But what the finals did was it allowed you to take off myopic glasses and be very clear on where your weaknesses are, right?
Very much
Wemby
so.
has no, he has no doubt what he needs to work on this
my
summer, right?
bad. My bad. I thought
he
you were
has-
gonna go post move. My bad.
my bad. I mean, well,
Post
we
move,
said the
weight
same thing.
room.
We said the same thing.
cardio.
He has no doubt what he needs to work on this summer because he has no post game,
No
right?
post-game.
And honestly, this was kind of his LeBron 2007 and
Everybody-
2011 moment rolled into one, you
Mhm.
know.
Mhm.
So that's big for him. If you're Castle, right? All right, listen, you gotta be consistent from behind that arc. You know that, right?
Stop
If
turning the
you're
rock over.
Right. If you're Dylan Harper, hey, you can get your own with the best. We see that, right? But part of the reason I would argue that you weren't handed the keys is because the Spurs run an offense, not just a Dylan Harper, right? And
Mhm.
so you got to make sure you're able to get yours within the flow of the offense better, right? To truly be a dynamic threat. So everybody has, if you're Mitch Johnson, hey, you let your team down in the clutch, right? Again, you were able to run the plays on the sheet of paper, but once it was time to go off script, you listen, them boys wilted like a flower in the summer.
Hey,
So
where do coaches go to work on it off season? People have Hakeem that they go to. They have other. Where do
They gotta-
coaches? Where's the coaching guru? Who's the coaching guru
it's
that
up to
Mitch
them.
Johnson?
It's
is
up
He
to
literally
them.
has
Hey, coaching
Popovich in his back
conferences,
pocket.
Pop,
Like,
Pop gonna listen.
master
Pop wants
classes?
to do nothing more than break film down all summer. He gonna be at Pop's house like
Pop's
the
recovering
what?
from a stroke, though, man.
Pop-
He's in rehab, man.
by the way,
Come on.
can I go back for a second? Do flowers will in the summer or do they will in the
I wasn't
winter?
sure.
Oh
I wasn't
my
sure. Depends on
gosh,
the heat.
my
Listen,
boy.
I'm with you. I was just talking about the heat, you
Oh.
know.
Do you guys
That
want
was-
these
that was a
Wemby
good one.
numbers or what?
You said what?
Do you guys want these Wemby fourth quarter numbers?
I guess. I mean, we know he didn't show up in the fourth quarter. Like, I don't know what else you want to
Just
say.
adding
Like,
context
know
to
the
the
word
listeners.
numbers.
God damn.
go ahead, brother.
All right. 7.8 points per game, 34.3% field goal percentage, 25% from three, 72.2% from free throw, minus 20 plus minus. And he scored 5 points in game 4 and 3 points yesterday.
Think about every time Wemby took a clutch shot, had a clutch possession. It was either a three. I think his closest one was 18 feet. Like, where was the clutch? Get me the ball on the block, and I'm 7-6 moment.
I mean, you saw what he was trying when he tried to drive on Mitchell Robinson or Cat or try to post him up. He couldn't even gain ground on them. He's too skinny. He's too frail. He needs to add bulk.
What does Charles Barkley say? He's too light in the cakes. He's too light in the cakes, man.
Need,
I don't look at any
Yeah.
kicks.
So here's my pushback on that. It's exactly what Ev was saying. The finals exposes you for who you really are and shows your glaring deficiencies. And that's where it's shown. Because I would argue he had some clutch fourth quarter in other series, right? But they didn't have the scheme and the personnel that the Knicks had.
Knicks didn't
What
have
do you
Chet.
do? Yeah. What do you do before we move on to the rest of the league, guys? Last thing. What do you do as a franchise who has overachieved this season, which we've all agreed that San Antonio has? Do you do something drastic or do you stick to the plan?
I think that you have to determine who is the player with size that can play next to Wemby. The
So the
guard.
front court is the focus?
I
You mean
think
size, like
that's the key.
physical size?
Yeah, I think they
Okay.
need.
They need a
yeah,
backup center, man. Luke Cornett.
well, that's what I'm saying.
the only thing Luke Cornett
And
could
they
do
have
is
to fortify their front court.
the only thing Luke
You
Cornett
can put
could do is stop
another bigger body on the floor with him. I mean, like you should be able to have another bigger body, like when they play Hartenstein and Chet together, type situation. You don't have that with the.
I
with
mean,
the Spurs.
Hartenstein might be on the market.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, look, but yeah,
Right.
but what I was going to say is a precursor to what I'm saying is really just shop Fox to see who you can get as that type of person for that, because you have enough guards to
Is
build
there
around
not?
right now.
His stock is at
But
an all-time low after that finals.
go ahead. My bad. Who?
De'Aaron Fox.
De'Aaron?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, but who's in the league? Who's available in the league right now? Let's talk about that. We're transitioning to the future of the league. So, who's available in the league? Like, I
Fox
don't.
Anthony Davis. Who says no?
Are
You
the
said who?
Wizards gonna do that?
Fox Anthony Davis. Who says no? He doesn't want to be. He doesn't want to be in Washington. I just throw out an option for you.
No, you're not wrong. I know the
Yeah.
Lakers want Anthony Davis back.
So I say that only because Lou. So
Is that
there's
an
the
option?
contract issue with
Can we
Fox,
bring
and
AD
then
back?
there's the
But you can't do
stock
Fox.
value with
But
Fox.
what you do Fox? What you got Trey Young? Do you really want Fox?
I mean, Fox played off the ball a lot this year. So I mean, if Fox and Trey Young are your backcourt next to AJ DeBanter, I mean, I'm not. Have you seen our roster last year? I mean, I'm not.
If Fox doesn't have the ball in his hand, it's kind of redundant.
I'm not saying this as a. This is definitely the answer. I'm just throwing out an
Yeah.
option there because I think the Spurs, to what everybody has said, they really need and you're not getting OG, but they need an OG type next to Victor, right? From a
Ooh.
starting standpoint.
Hey, what's his name in Toronto?
I knew he was gonna
Scotty
be
Barnes, man. He's
Scotty Barnes
bring up
type.
that. I
around.
know that
OG
was gonna
type,
be what he
yeah.
brought up.
Something like
Scotty
that. Yeah,
Barnes type.
something like that. They need somebody who's
Siakam.
able to. Yeah, no, Pascal's not.
Pascal's like
Yeah,
a
somebody
Pascal
like
type.
that. Right. They
There's
need
some
Not a
somebody like
Bam?
that next
Not
to
a
him.
Bam out of bio?
Man, the Pacers.
Come on.
Pacers
Just
gonna
say
be-
You know what
83?
though? You know what though? Bam may not be a bad fit next to Wemby. I'm just
wouldn't be.
saying.
They're trying to
wouldn't
get
be.
Giannis over there to be with Bam. Why would they trade him to?
Yeah,
True,
they are,
true.
but that's true.
But
Giannis
if
is
the
better.
Pacers gonna be so
Spurs-
nice next year. God damn.
The Knicks, that's what I'm talking about.
You said the Pacers are gonna be nice?
Yeah.
Who did they have? What
I'm
happened?
mad about that pick they lost, but
You got Big Zoo. Finally shored up that center spot again.
he's just Zoo now.
He's just Zoo now. He's just Zoo. Okay, fine. Let's get into it. The last 9 minutes of the show. What are you guys anticipating on this NBA offseason? What are the biggest moves that we're looking for? I know we have the Giannis. I think that's the big one. But outside of Giannis, what are the big moves you guys are expecting to happen this offseason?
AD back to the Lakers.
Come home.
Well, I mean,
You
what
think
does
it
that mean?
happen? I mean,
LeBron. What's gonna happen with LeBron? You know what I mean? It's real quiet. How much longer is he gonna hold on? I mean, if
him and Rich Paul,
career,
him and
if
Rich
how
Paul are
he holds on
bullshitting,
to
bro.
his hairline, or is any indication of how long he's gonna hold on to his career? Probably of another 10 years.
Go ahead, Christian. What you saying?
Him and Rich Paul are bullshitting. They're playing games. Why? I don't know why they're playing games. They think they have leverage on us. How many more years of LeBron is left? Does he really think he's gonna get a max contract? Who's gonna give him that money? There's only us, Chicago, and Brooklyn, right? That have cap space.
As much as
We
I
hate
can't believe
ourselves
that
on
we're
that
ending a Knicks podcast with Lakers talk, I will ask you this
We're
question.
talking about
though, Christian.
off-season stuff, man. What
Because
are you guys gonna do the off-season? You guys are
Well,
gonna
you
go
make a-
enjoy your win, and that's it.
I'm about to ask you something. I'm about to ask you a Lakers question
Go
because
ahead.
it's in line with what you're saying.
Go ahead.
If you're the Lakers, right, and you're talking about AD,
Mhm.
right, and if y'all move for AD, that would be a LeBron move, right?
Not
If
necessarily.
you're, I feel you, but my question is, if you're the Lakers, right, are you making moves based on LeBron or are you making moves based on Luka?
No, on Luka.
And
I think
and
that's.
how
I think that's
definitive
been.
are you with that stance?
I think that's been their thought process for at least a year now. That everything moving forward is a Luka thing. It's not LeBron. LeBron needs to, if he wants to enjoy the ride, then come back at a discount. But we're not.
Yeah.
We're not gonna build around you anymore.
You think you guys are gonna discount AR because he's asking for a lot?
I don't think the Lakers
He wants
have
200.
to. I think the Lakers are going to talk to Austin. I think they both want to come back, and there's going to be a side deal where they just tell him just hold off.
Aspiration?
Aspiration?
No,
It's
no,
an
not like that.
aspiration
No,
deal?
no. We
What
do
are we
things
talking
the
about,
right way,
man?
not like Clippers.
Tell us about it.
They're gonna tell them to just hold off until we build our team with the cap space we got, and then they'll sign AR onto the contract. Because they don't need AR's contract could be signed after we build the team because we have I think the bird rights, right? Like we
Right.
could just sign them into the
Yeah.
roster. So I think that's how it's gonna happen. I don't think he's gonna accept any offer from anyone. He's just gonna wait it out until the Lakers could get who they can get in restricted free agency because there's a lot of restricted free agents now, or at least this summer. Peyton Watson,
essentially-
Walker Kessler, and all them.
But essentially, that's him taking a pay cut, though. That's what you're saying.
No, they can still offer him the
No,
max.
what
It
is-
just
I get
you don't have to do it right away.
I'll explain it differently. Because his cap hold is so low based on his existing contract,
Mm-hmm.
his new contract doesn't count against the Lakers cap until they actually sign it. So essentially, until they sign this deal, they have quote unquote cap space that they can create. Now, part of that is you got to sign LeBron to a smaller deal first,
But
so
that's-
his new
Yeah,
cap.
that's
instead of
LeBron
That's
and
where I'm
AR are both
going.
in the same position though. The Lakers could add their contracts on top of what they already have on the
I know they
roster.
can add it on top, but LeBron's previous contract serves as a cap hold until you sign him into a new one because his previous contract was bigger, whereas Austin's doesn't because his previous contract was smaller.
So what's the hold?
So
then? Do you know?
the hold is is the estimate of your previous contract, is what I'm saying. And so we're saying essentially the same thing. Austin can wait it out, let the Lakers sign other players, and then sign him, and can go over the cap to sign him. Where if they signed him first, it would eliminate the space to do so.
Right.
The only risk with that, though, is he wants to be there, but if another team doing the same thing mixes the gumbo up quickly before the Lakers do, then throws Austin in the bag.
Well, no, they could agree on the contract, but they just don't sign him until they sign everyone else.
But until he's signed, if somebody else gives him a better situation,
but
Kind of
the-
like the
no one else can
DeAndre
give him-
Jordan
No
and
one else can
Dallas
give him as much
situation.
money as the Lakers can. So
nobody else can give him the 5 years that the Lakers can.
No, they can't give him 5 years. They can only give him
That-
4
that's what I
years.
said.
170.
Nobody else can give him 5 years, but they can
Right.
give him 4 years at the same amount of money as what the Lakers' fourth year would be.
Right,
4
but
years would be.
again, it just it has to be an agreed between him and the Lakers where they say don't accept any offer from another team because then we'll have to match it, right?
Yeah, basically, you're turning him to a restricted free agent, right? It's
And he
kinda-
doesn't have to agree to that. That's all I'm
That's what I'm
saying. Christian,
saying,
you're
yeah,
saying that like, yep, he's definitely
No,
gonna do it.
I didn't say he
that's Lakers
is.
radio saying
I'm
that.
assuming he will because he said he's been vocal about coming back that he wants to stay here. So I mean that's just what I'm assuming is gonna happen. I think
Man,
they're
Giannis
they're
said
gonna
he
have
wanted
that
to stay
deal.
with the Bucks
I'm
too,
assuming
man.
that the NBA knew that they
Because-
were going to
because-
put up that statistic that the bubble team wasn't accepting. That's my assumption.
So, because let's have this thought process, right? Because the Lakers technically have the cap space to essentially trade for a superstar and put them into that cap. They don't have to they don't have to send out players to match salary. They have the cap room to bring them in.
Mhm.
So it's just depending on who can the Lakers go give 3 first-round picks for to put them into the cap. A lot of options.
We'll see. I'm curious to see what
I want to know what the Chicago Bulls are going to do.
what gymnastics you guys are gonna do with this LeBron contract and this signing. Go ahead, Evan.
Fair question to you, Christian. Who if you had your pick at somebody falling to number 4 in the draft for the Bulls, who would you want to see fall to 4, Lou?
The dream is Cam Boozer, no?
Well,
For the Bulls?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna be realistic. AJ isn't falling. So out of those that are left,
Yeah, we know
who do you
AJ
want to
isn't
see fall?
falling.
Come off mute and tell us.
Man, this
He
man,
doesn't even,
is he stuck? Like, what's going on? I
he
think it's
doesn't even
Cam
want to
Boozer.
ask all that. You think it's Cam
You
Boozer?
think
think
it's
it's
Cam
Cam
Boozer.
Boozer? You're on mute, Lou.
I thought I had your man. Nah, it's I mean, we want Caleb. We want Caleb, man. I think that he's gonna. I
Is that
don't.
a guard?
The only one they talking about that potentially might fall is I'm blanking on his name. The youngin that hasn't been wanting to come to any of the
Darren Peterson.
going to any of the workouts and so on and so forth. But even if he falls, I don't think I think Wilson is a better fit for us. And I think we have pretty good success with UNC guys. So long that we can keep them and cultivate them in the right way and not decide to just waste their time there and then give them away for free
Kobe White,
as they go flourish on other teams.
Lou still hasn't recovered from that, man.
By the way, before we leave, there's two things I want to bring up. Cat becomes the fourth player in Minnesota Timberwolves history to leave the team and win a
They
championship.
go win a chip. Yep.
So does that continue with Anthony Edwards?
Oh,
Wow.
tough.
That's something to ponder. The
Mm,
second one. Will the NBA and Adam Silver sack up and take away that fifth pick from the Clippers and punish them for aspirations?
Wow.
Wow.
This show is sticking to its roots. Clippers hate from Christian. We're sticking to our roots here, man. As we do here as a number one NBA podcast in the universe right now. I will say this before we signing off, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We are taking a little break, summer break. We'll probably be on the pod for any breaking news, major trades, anything that happens. In the meantime, check us out on our social media. Ev, shout out to the Knicks again. Knicks NBA champs. Big Body Brunson MVP.
New York, stand
go
up.
New York. Go
The
New
city.
York. Go.
We did it.
Shout
If we
out.
can
Shout
come
to
back
Jersey
to
being
29 in the
represented and
finals
shit.
game, you can do whatever's holding you down in life, people. That's my inspiration for you.
There you go.
Let the Knicks be your inspiration.
Yes.
We did it.
If the Knicks could do it, anybody could do it. Let's go. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We appreciate it. You guys have a blessed summer. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Word.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, give us a thumbs up. If you really enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button and the notification button so you can keep up with us every week. Be sure to follow us on all our socials at the 3on3 Podcast. Hey, got a question, topic you want us to talk about? Hit us up on our email at 3on3podcast@gmail.com. We appreciate y'all. Tune in next week.